What is up, guys? Rick Kakis here. Thank you so much for joining me, and today, it's been a pretty wild day. Earlier, a new patch hit Destiny 2 with the end of the Revelry event, and with it, the database was updated, and the exotic catalyst for the Outbreak Prime exotic raid pulse rifle from Destiny 1 was found. And I made a video on this talking about all the crazy possibilities of this being added in a new DLC. Turns out, I should never underestimate Bungie, because it's not coming in a future DLC. It's in the game, right now. Literally right now, you can go and get this weapon, and that's the purpose of this video. We're going to go over everything you need to know for how to acquire the brand new to Destiny 2 Outbreak Prime exotic pulse rifle, so let's get started. By the way, that older video has been made private for obvious reasons, but how to begin is, firstly, you have to do the daily heroic mission. You're going to see on Titan the mission Heroic Bad Neighbor. Now, this is the one you need. I actually started this on my Warlock and it didn't appear. I had to switch to my Titan. So potentially restart your game, switch characters, and make sure you're on that Bad Neighbor heroic mission. So, once you've begun this mission, you simply go through it as normal, doing the objectives, killing enemies, all that stuff, until you get to this room with the Shrieker. It's the first Shrieker you're going to encounter during this mission, and that's when you'll know it's time to do something different. So once you kill the Shrieker and clear out this room of enemies, you're going to continue forward into this red room, and the objective marker wants you to open the door in front of you. Do not. Instead, head to the left, there's another door, and it says unlocked. Hold this, open this separate door, again, away from the objective marker, and it's going to unlock a secret room. You head into here, go down kind of to the middle of the room, and as you can see, there's going to be a desk with an item on it, and you can hold to pick up this item. That is going to start you off officially on this exotic quest. By the way, once you acquire this item, there's no need to be in this mission. You can go back to orbit and start doing the rest of the stuff. So, if you go into your inventory and inspect this exotic quest item, you're going to see there's 6 different nodes you need to complete. Each of them has a little riddle about how to find this particular node. But luckily for you, I've already done it, so we're just going to show you exactly where to go. Essentially, these nodes, all 6 of them, are hidden in between 6 different lost sectors, 4 on Earth, the EDZ, and 2 on Nessus. Alright, for the first one, you're going to head to the Trossland, and then go to the outskirts, and head to the lost sector called the Drain, and you can see me do that in the background gameplay. Once you're here, head down this lost sector until you veer to the side, as again you can see in the background gameplay. Then you're going to find simply an item on the ground. This is going to be what the nodes look like. There are these small items, you can go and interact with them, but yeah, that's what you're looking for. Now, once you pick up these nodes, you can open your inventory and you can see that one of the 6 are filled in. So again, once all 6 are filled in, then we proceed to the next bigger quest step. But for the next node, you are going to turn around, head back out this lost sector to the outskirts, and go to the other lost sector within the outskirts area, Whispered Falls. When you're in here, you continue as you see me, and in one of the first areas of this lost sector, to the right, there's kind of a little cave there, and you can grab the second node. Now, once you've grabbed that, you can open your map, fast travel back to the Trossland, and head to the lost sector, the Atrium, which is underneath the church, as you can see here. By the way, we are actually doing these in order from node 1, node 2, node 3. I digress. You're going to travel through the Atrium, and yet again, there's going to be one of these hidden objects. This one is up against a back wall. Now, from here, you can fast travel to the Trossland again, or head back out, doesn't really matter, and then head to the lost sector, also in the Trossland, to the left, Widow's Walk. Now, from here, you're going to barrel your way through. You can ignore the enemies or you can kill them if you're pressured by them, and then head to the chest at the end of this lost sector. Now, above that chest to the right, as you can see, jump up here and we have yet another node. So, that's it for all 4 nodes on the EDZ. Now, travel to Nessus, specifically Exodus Black. From here, you're going to head right across from where you spawn in to the lost sector called the Rift. And in here, this one is a little tricky to get to. You're basically going to head close towards the very back of this lost sector, like where you see the chest, the reward chest, you veer off to the left, and then the node is kind of hidden inside this crate, and you have to jump off the front of this crate and squeeze your way in to acquire it, as you can see. Now, once you've got this one, fast travel back to Exodus Black, hop on your Sparrow, and go over to the Glade of Echoes. From here, you're going into one of the lost sectors there, called the Carrion Pit. Now, you head to the very back, past the reward chest, and as you can see, around some debris over to the right, you can have to jump around it, similar to the last lost sector, you will find the final 6th node. Alright, now that you've got all 6 nodes, head to the farm. That's right, the original social space that you probably haven't been in months. Head down there and go to the basement. That area we were wondering if something would ever come there when this game first launched. Finally, there's something there. There's actually a brand new area that's opened up, so head down under here, and then you're going to see a hiding fallen captain with the prompt Rendezvous. Now, when you activate this, you and your squad will be sent out to do a very Whisper of the Worm-like exotic quest mission. It's timed, it's only 20 minutes, and the enemies are 690. This is a tough mission, so make sure you put on your best gear possible before you start it. I am going to do my absolute best to give you guys as many tips and strategies and shortcuts as possible so that you guys do complete this, because you have to complete the entire thing within that 20-minute time limit or you'll just have to restart again. Now, thankfully, there's no time constraint or specific public events that need to be ongoing like the Whisper of the Worm. If you do fail this, you can go back to this fallen captain at the farm and just restart it and redo it as many times as you want in a row. And so, we begin. You're going to start in the old school tower. There's going to be one drag that's killed by a fallen ally, and then you head to this door, it's blocked, head down to the vent as you can see us go, and on the other side of this vent, there is a bunch of enemies. Now, it's definitely worth noting that these enemies are not really normal enemies, especially the shielded ones. They feel almost half as powerful as the match game modifier. Like, their shields go down slower than you would expect even if you have a matching element. So, one strategy is to use the Hard Light. It's an exotic auto rifle that can switch elements, as with the Borealis. So, you're going to see all 3 different elemental shields present, and having something that you can switch and take down those shields with relative ease. If you're not matching, it's a nightmare. That's a definite good idea. But what my squad discovered, and I think is even a better idea, is that if you have the Arbalist, the new exotic linear fusion rifle from that past event, the Revelry, well, that thing does bonus damage against shields. All shields. And if you're high enough light, you can just one-shot kill the shielded shanks, and it does phenomenal damage. I would highly recommend the Arbalist as your main shield killer. So once you dispatch these enemies, you're going to head kind of the opposite direction as the very beginning mission of Destiny 2 and crawl your way through until you find another group of enemies. Here, as you can see, I'm using a Titan, so I'm using the Sentinel with Doomfang Pauldrons. Anything like that, a combination of a powerful ad-clearing super with an exotic that extends the duration or gets it back quicker, that's going to be pretty useful in this encounter. Now, in this room, not only do you have some ads and some snipers, but there's also a fallen spider tank you need to clear out as well. Once you dispatch that tank, head further into this area as you can see us go, and you're going to encounter some ads along the way, but nothing as big as those 2 ad rooms you just cleared. So just be sure to kill them as you come across them. Watch out, the snipers are capable of pretty much one-shotting you, so keep that in mind. Not unreasonable to put an Arbalist shot into their head when you see them. Then once you make your way through those ads, you're going to jump across this chasm, and here is where the jumping puzzle begins. So feel free to stop, take off your current exotic like the Doomfang Pauldrons, and put on an exotic that will help you in a jumping puzzle. For example, again, I'm using the Titan. I replaced them with the Lionheart Ramparts, which was a huge boon, a massive benefit. Definitely put your class's version of this exotic on to again help with jumping. You're going to continue through and see this large area. There is a ship down and to your left, head underneath it near the front, as you can see. From here, you're going to kind of encounter your first puzzle. It's a large open space with 2 different balconies. Essentially, if you fall down, you will die. Jump across to the other balcony. Now, if you can't make that, you can simply continue in the vents to the right and you can get to a middle section so you can make that jump easier. And then on that second balcony, looking to the opposite one and up and to your right, as you can see, there's another hidden vent. Head up there, you have to shoot a vent open, and then you can continue your way. Now from here, your next puzzle is another open room, and it has a bunch of ledges to the right and to the left. These ledges, if you stand on them for more than just a second, they will fall out from under you and you will fall to your death. So you need to jump on them and then jump off immediately. Essentially, head to the door on the other side. Once you're on that other side door, turn around, up and to your left, there is a vent you can go to continue your passage. Then you're outside the massive wall, and you can see some floating objects here that you can jump towards. Now, normally you're going to have to jump from one hanging object to the other all the way across, as you can see, and then from this other jut outwards, you kind of jump underneath, and there's another set of jumping puzzles to make your way eventually, like right underneath where you originally jumped out on that first hanging object, just much, much further down. But as you can see, if you have the Lionheart ramparts, or potentially something like the Stompies, you can skip all of that stuff. Simply fall down and then use that extra jump the exotic gives you to push your way forward to this underneath strut, and here, this is very important, you can actually activate this device here, and that is going to extend the platform so that your teammates can make the same jump you just did with your exotic. So if one person makes it here and activates this button, then the rest of the people, even if they're struggling, they're going to be respawning on that very top like floating object. They can just jump down, as you can see in the background, and make it easily. Now from this area with the button, you're actually going to want to jump upwards to another kind of rafter above you, head forward, and as you can see, jump on this little box and jump up again to make your way inside the vents again and back inside the wall. Moving on, there's yet another puzzle. This one is another open room with a bunch of struts out that are yellow bordered, and you're going to want to jump up and up and up, and as you can see to the sides, there are different vents. Now, a lot of these vents are simply false, like they don't actually lead anywhere. There's one you're trying to go to. It's to the very top, so the very top set of vents to the right when you first kind of enter into the room, if you can imagine. And you're going to see me do it in the background, but again, it's pretty simple to learn. Just go to the very top ones, and then if you've gone the wrong way, it's a clear dead end, just jump up across to the other one. And right after that, you've guessed it, we've got another puzzle. This one involves fans. Now, if you go anywhere near the fan blades, you will be killed. So what you need to do is jump on the very center of the fan. There's a little circular platform that you're safe on, and then look for the red areas. As you can see, these red areas like jut inwards, so you can jump to them and go down and avoid the fan blades. From here, as soon as you get under that fan blade, you need to jump again, land on the next fan's middle. As you can see, look around for that red pillar of light again, jump down there, avoid the fan blades, and do that several more times until you eventually get to the very bottom, and then you can continue your way forward. Now, if you're a hunter, this may be difficult because when you jump, you kind of go back upwards, so make sure you've gone down past the fan blades sufficient enough. You don't want to jump back up right back into the fan blade. Okay, right after that, we have another part of the jumping puzzle. This one, this wide open area, definitely is giving me Whisper vibes. They did this on purpose. Now from here, you're going to want to look for the tiny glowing ledges. There's one to the left and one further to the right. The one to the left, you don't want to go to. You won't be able to make that jump forward. So head to the one on the right. As you can see, it's kind of a long jump. Again, line ramparts, any of those exotics, super, super useful. Make sure that your jump on your subclass is the one that lets you have the most distance and all that stuff. So you can make this first jump, you head over to the other side, there's another tiny little ledge, And then finally, there's one more area at the very end. Now, once you do reach this end area, there's yet another button that you can activate that will extend flaps to make anyone further behind have a much easier time. So just one person in your group with line ramparts to get forward and activate these buttons will help the other two people significantly. So that is a strategy you can employ. Now, continuing from there, you're going to wiggle your way through some passages and eventually fall down into a new area that will load ventilation. Now, from here, you actually have some mechanics to keep in mind. Off to your left, there's actually a map, and it's going to show 4 different red dots on this map, and then off to the very front, if you can imagine, you are at the back end and the bottom end, and up to the top is where you want to go to escape this place. You have to go and activate the buttons for all 4 of those red lights. And this map, again, it's a layout of this area. So as you can see, it's like 2 rectangles, and then off to the side, there's more squares. So you're gonna drop down, as you can see, head to the right or to the left, and then look for those secondary passages off further right if you're on the right, or further left if you're on the left, and activate those buttons exactly as you can see in the background gameplay. It's highly efficient if all 3 of your fire team members drop down here. 2 go one direction, 1 goes to the other side, and you try to get these done as fast as possible because, again, time limit. But while you're down here, there's going to be a freaky electric claw that flies around the map and will cut you into ribbons. And yeah, so what you want to do is avoid this. Now, you can do this several different ways. Someone can technically stay up in the top and look for this thing, and if it goes off to the left side, perhaps, then you can purposely go to the right side, activate those buttons, and then kind of switch places with it. There's a lot of areas in this that you can hide, like little cubby holes you can move in, or as you can see us do in the background gameplay, the very middle section, you can jump in here and avoid the claw as it goes by, which again is exactly what I do. So, employ all those tactics, go down there, try to activate all 4 of the different buttons. If the claw, you'll hear it, you'll see that red light is coming towards you, try to avoid it, let it go past, and then move on your way. Once all 4 buttons are activated, then you're going to continue to the very top and move forward. Now, something else to remember is that when you're in this, there are going to be electric barriers that appear. You gotta just wait a bit, and then they'll go down, you can continue forward. So keep that in mind as well. Now, from there, you're going to have another area. This one has a bunch of platforms, and when you jump on them, you have the option to activate them. Make sure all of your fire team members are here, activate one, and they're going to slowly go up and then stop for a bit and then go up. These are not really as concerning as they may initially seem. All you do is ride them all the way to the top, jump off, as you can see, and then hop on this little bridge. If you stay on too long, however, they will fall down rapidly and kill you. So basically, just stay on them until it's pretty clear you can make the jump, and then just go for the jump. You're good to go. Now, you can deactivate them, but it really doesn't matter. Just stay on them, jump to the bridge, and keep going. Now, from up here, you're going to slide down, and there are some things that will stop your momentum to the right and to the left. If you keep going forward, you can end up like me and just die from hitting the wall too fast. If you're a warlock, you'll be able to stop your momentum pretty quickly and revive all your teammates, but yeah, just be aware of that. Now, once you're down here in this room, there's going to be a staircase in front of you, but to the right of it, there's a vent. Break the thing, go in the vent. Then you're going to load into this massive vault with tons of gold everywhere and a bunch of little rooms. But you're going to want to specifically trigger a certain area to open up and expose another room behind it. And you can kind of see that right here. It's a secret door. Now, none of us activated anything, so potentially just after being in this room for a while, it's going to activate. Or once you know its location, like as you can see from the background gameplay, if you stand near it, hold square or whatever, it'll likely activate. Because we didn't do anything, we just explored around this room, and then one of us got close enough to the secret door that it basically just opened on its own. Then you're going to head forward into this massive area, and you can see there's a weapon that has been stolen from this glass case. Make your way off to the right of that glass case. You can see there's like little lasers that have cut a hole in the wall or in the floor. Head down here, make your way forward, And there's really no more trickery or jump puzzles. You're just going to basically follow the only way to go and jump down, and then you're going to be loaded into a new area, the Tower Ruins, and you have a bunch of enemies again. So this is the part that if you do have the line ramparts on, take them off, put back on your offensive exotic, and get to slaying. Now, the main boss you're trying to kill is a giant fallen captain in the middle. However, when you kill him, like the second you kill him, you don't necessarily win. You still have to mop up some of the extra adds, but you definitely want to put pressure and damage on him when you can, like sniping him with the arbalest. As you can see, very, very effective. There are also going to be giant servitors that spawn, and these are going to have a ton of shielded shanks beside them as well. So when they do spawn, try to throw an arbalest shot or a grenade at those shanks quickly before they get protected, and then you have to kill the massive servitor while everything is shooting at you. So if you can kill some of those shanks before they get protected, that'll alleviate a ton of pressure. There's also some turrets off to the right and left that you don't actually have to kill, but they can pressure you, so try to stay kind of near the back. And also remember that off to the right and to the left, and you'll see me use this during the gunfight, there are kind of rafters that you can run up and get some great sniping angles, especially on the boss. But during this fight, after you've kind of killed a servitor or two, there's 2 fallen tanks that are going to spawn. Now, again, after you kill this main boss, we did, and we still had to kill those 2 fallen tanks. So if you're feeling pressured by those tanks, you can by all means divert your resources to kill them. You'll need to end up killing them regardless. So, as I've said, Arbalest is fantastic. However, putting on the Whisper of the Worm, especially for fallen tanks, like it's basically meant for taking out those as long as you have heavy. But rocket launcher as your heavy isn't a terrible idea either. And having access to a roaming super, be it a Sentinel Titan or even a Stormcaller or something to clear out the large amount of adds is also very advantageous, because you may just end up being overwhelmed. There's a lot of snipers, there's a lot of guys shooting you from a bunch of different angles. If you try to just completely tank the boss and totally ignore the adds, that's not a good idea. It is definitely worth it to divert a little bit of attention, especially to the snipers, take those guys out, and then focus the boss. Additionally, you're going to need to kill a lot of big things. You're going to need ammo. Make sure you're using armor with enough special ammo finder, even heavy ammo finder. Honestly, I would rather lean on special ammo, and that's why we're using the Arbalest. It just drops so much more frequently than heavy, even if you have a bunch of heavy ammo finders on. So keep that in mind as well. But once you do take down that massive fallen captain and then take down the 2 tanks, clear the room of adds, you're going to have the fallen captain that you've been helping spawn get sucked up by his fallen ship, go away, and as you can see, it's just going to outright give you the Outbreak Prime. Congratulations, you've acquired this brand new exotic weapon. Now, you can redo this mission on Heroic at 700 light to go and get the catalyst for this weapon, but that's another story, that's another guide for another time. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, found it informative, and if you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you guys want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickKakis. That's linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.